We have heard stories of people doing wild, strange things for gratification with no explanation given. Just when you think you've had it all, you hear the most bizarre, like the story I'm about to tell you. Now imagine having a husband who you thought was cheating on you, only to find out that he was sleeping with corpses. That was the horror faced by the wife of Kenneth Douglas, a convicted necrophiliac. Kenneth Douglas, who worked in a morgue in Ohio, United States, confessed to sleeping with up to 100 corpses during his night duty and under the influence of drugs. He said he would get on top of them and pull his pants down. To him, it was his own way of sleeping with numerous women without actually cheating on his wife. There were rumors that his supervisor knew or suspected that he was touching the corpses but never reported or fired him. Douglas was initially caught by law enforcement in 2018 when DNA evidence connected him to semen found in the corpse of 19-year-old Karen Range. Now, Karen was murdered by a door-to-door salesman in 1982 and was nearly decapitated in the attack. So she was placed at the Hamilton County morgue where Douglas worked. And when he started his shift that night, he went to have sex with her body. Douglas pled guilty to a charge of gross abuse of corpses and was sentenced to 3 years in jail. Now, when an autopsy was conducted on Karen in 1982, fresh semen was found in her, but due to the poor technology back then, Karen's killer was charged for the rape because they thought the semen was his, though he denied it. So as luck would have it, in 2008, DNA evidence from Karen Range finally matched Douglas. Douglas subsequently confessed that he had raped Range's corpse in the Hamilton County morgue about 4 hours after her remains were brought in from the crime scene. He was convicted of gross abuse of a corpse and sentenced to 3 years in prison.
I do believe that if I wasn't under the influence, this would have never happened. And this has been on my mind since this happened, on my conscience. And I have tried to change, and I have changed. And I want to apologize to the family and to anybody else that I hurt.
Douglas also pled guilty in 2012 to 2 more cases involving abuse of the corpses of Charlene Aplin. Charlene was a 23-year-old lady who was 6 months pregnant when she was strangled in 1991, and another lady called April Hicks, a 24-year-old girl who died after falling from a third-story window in 1991. Now, it was obvious that Douglas was attracted to women who died from trauma. Meanwhile, Douglas also pled guilty to sexually abusing 2 other female corpses and received consecutive 3-year sentences in 2010. Now, the families of those victims, along with Range's family, sued Hamilton County for failing to adequately supervise Douglas. I mean, you have to understand that this man did this every night. Whenever he comes to work, he goes for the newly placed corpse, have sex with them for as long as he wants, and it's hard to believe that no one saw him ever doing that, or no one caught him, or someone caught him and did not want to report him. It was just so weird. Like, was he the only one working in this morgue or what? Anyway, so Douglas's admission that he had sex with up to 100 female corpses came to light in August of 2014 when the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the family's lawsuit against the county could move forward. Now, the appellate court found that Douglas's supervisors were aware he had been drinking on the job and having sex with women inside the morgue. But these women are, real humans. But this was their argument, that Douglas was actually just bringing women into the morgue. But then Douglas is saying, no, I'm not just having sex with women, I am sleeping with dead bodies. So that kind of came out weird. Like, is it that the supervisors didn't know the difference between a human, a living human, or a dead body? So Douglas's wife, during her own deposition, claimed that she smelled sex on her husband when she picked him up from work. She couldn't understand why, every evening when she goes to pick him up, he's smelling of sex. So she went and reported him to the coroner's office. The morgue supervisor told her to stop calling. It seemed like the supervisor just felt like the woman was nagging or just making up things that didn't make sense. So they warned her to stop talking about it. Now, in February of 2015, Hamilton County reached a settlement with the families of those who were raped post-mortem by Douglas. The county agreed to pay $800,000, and then a $2.4 million settlement default judgment was also obtained against Douglas, though it is unlikely to be collected. This is one of those stories that even as I'm narrating it, I'm wondering, what the heck? How does one get sexual pleasure from sleeping with dead bodies? And what exactly was he thinking? 100 dead bodies. It just does not make sense. Nothing makes sense in this bizarre world. Nothing makes sense in a strange world like ours. Well, that's it for today's story. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I tell strange, dark and mysterious stories. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below and I will respond. Have yourself a good day.